The FaZe situation keeps getting worse. By A Bando. We always love A Bando, you know what I'm saying?
The past few months, FaZe Clan over the course of the past few months, FaZe Clan has been going through a very negative turn of events after having such a successful 2024 with the whole new revamped version of the organization. But while 2024 seemed to be a great year for FaZe, 2025 has been nothing but nonsense thus far for the entire organization, with the newest allegation made by former member FaZe Ring being the worst possible thing that has happened yet.
I swear to God, I put myself under the bus instead of them. I wasn't even pushed out. I left. There's a fucking pedophile involved too, bro.
I'm getting fucking spammed in my mentions right now on Twitter, asking if I'm a pedophile, being accused that I'm a pedophile, being tagged in this.
You are the first person they would think.
On Fearbuck.
The fact that I'm even having to respond to this and that my name is in the same breath as the word pedophile is so sick, twisted, and insane.
But what exactly did Rain say? Who is the person he's accusing? And how is this whole situation just very terrible for everyone involved? Well, that's probably what you're here to figure out. But first, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the Trap House with the biggest trapper. And while you're at it, don't forget to click that very first link down below in my description to join my Discord to how this FaZe situation just keeps getting worse. Okay, so to start, I'm not trying to waste too much of y'all's time, so I'm not going to get into the whole history of FaZe Clan and things like that, which I usually do in my videos. And plus, by now, many of you probably know about the whole history of FaZe Clan anyways. So instead of doing that, we're just going to get straight into all of the nonsense that's been going on with FaZe over the year. So first, we have the FaZe Bank situation that took place back in July, which started because of Twitter DMs getting leaked of him blaming Aiden Ross for being the reason that crypto coin had failed, which then led to him and Aiden getting into a little back and forth on social media. And while that situation didn't really go too far between the two of them, the internet would use this opportunity to completely tear Banks down, calling him things like a crypto scammer. And the initial reaction to all of this was so bad by social media that it would even cause FaZe Banks to not only step down as the CEO of FaZe, but he will also announce via Twitter that he was going to be taking an indefinite break away from social media as a whole. So shortly after all of that took place, it would carry over into the
Type. Why are we doing this to me? What did I do to deserve this? Let me see. Yeah, what the
carry over into the Blackboy Max situation that took place in August. And this is when the popular streamer, who was also a very key member of the whole revamped FaZe Clan that came together last year, would end up taking to Twitter to randomly announce his departure away from the clan just after an entire year of seeing a lot of success within the organization. Now, this led many people to believe that it was just all jokes and trolls. I mean, it's something that FaZe does a lot. They always joke about kicking members, or people joke about leaving. So at first, people didn't really take it too seriously. But once Max went live later on in the day, it would become very clear that all of this was in fact a real thing.
Yeah, I was hearing echo, my bad, but yes, I'm leaving FaZe. Like I just said, I can't fully go into depth why I'm leaving FaZe, but I am leaving, and I'm ready to, embark on my journey and work the hardest I ever have in my career to do whatever I got to do to make FaZe the biggest shit possible, make myself the biggest shit possible. Just keep working. To all my FaZe bros, like, changed my life, you feel me? And no love is lost at all. Like, at the end of the day, these the bros, you feel me? I link with the bros, I'll still link with the bros, but it's just time to do what I gotta do.
Now, to this day, no one really knows exactly why Max made the decision to leave FaZe, but now it's starting to seem like he made the right decision. And even now, with everything going on, Max still hasn't given us an official reason as to why he left. But over the course of the last few weeks, he has dropped little hints from time to time, basically acknowledging the fact that he wants to build himself and his own brand, rather than just growing FaZe Clan for basically free.
I don't own FaZe. I don't own FaZe, gang. No ownership. I want to build something. If you're pussy hurt because you're mad that I want to build something for myself, sorry, I don't know what to tell you, because I'm still gonna do it, and I'm gonna make this 5-star shit the biggest shit ever, and me the biggest shit ever. That don't mean I don't f with these. Don't mean I won't f with these. That don't mean I won't do shit with these. I love them. They're my boys. But at the end of the day, bro, I'm gonna do what I feel is right for me. And then when you see this shit work out down the line, you'll see what I mean. That's all I'm gonna say.
So with hearing all of this, you're probably wondering, how could any of this possibly get worse for FaZe Clan? I mean, they lost their CEO, and then shortly after, they would lose one of, if not the most popular streamer at the moment within FaZe as well. Well, let's just say within the past day and a half, maybe 2 days, a lot has transpired within FaZe, specifically with a few of the OG members who we've all grown to love over the past few years. Now, before I get into any of this, I just want to say that it's important to remember that none of this is confirmed. Nobody is found guilty of anything yet. This is all just allegations made by the people involved, and I'm just here relaying the news to you guys. So now to get into it, this all started with Rain going on stream and beginning to talk about all of the reasons why he left FaZe Clan, stating that he thinks it was time to let the world know the truth, and he would claim that the situation with FaZe was quote unquote bad, and that it even involved an active PDF being involved within the organization.
This is the craziest part, bro. I threw myself under the bus instead of them. I swear to God, I put myself under the bus instead of them. I wasn't even pushed out. I left. There's a fucking pedophile involved too, bro. That was the final straw, bro. That was the final fucking straw. And when I said, bro, not only did you guys fucking air me out, y'all motherfuckers sold me out, y'all gave me behind my back. And honestly, I just had an epiphany about it because I'm like, bro, not even covered about it. I was just so sad about it for so long. I've been up over that pedo shit for like 2 years, bro. But I haven't said nothing about it. Somebody I grew up with, somebody I always loved.
Now, at first, Rain never threw anyone specific under the bus at all. Instead,
People thought it was
he
Banks
spoke very
instead.
general and said that he was going to do all of the exposing the next day on stream after he collected his thoughts. But that didn't go anywhere near as planned for him, because Banks, the CEO of FaZe, would abruptly make his return back to social media to clear his own name from these allegations, while also telling the world that Rain was referring to Tommy, also known as FaZe Temper. And he would also add that this was all part of a running feud that the two had gotten into in the past.
But yeah, I'm getting spammed in my mentions right now on Twitter, asking if I'm a pedophile, being accused that I'm a pedophile, being tagged in this clip from FaZe.
Yo, time out. Asking, yo, Banks, you touch kids? Crazy way to do it. I understand the people that were like, that assumed it would be him, considering the recent like crypto scam issues and him stepping down as CEO. It was a perfect storm to throw the blame on him. And most people, when they think of the older FaZe that, you know, has for the most part phased out or been phased out, he's the head of that snake for the most part, to casuals. So it made sense.
Rain on Fearbuck talking about there's a pedophile at FaZe. I have to speak about it now because there's no shot I'm going outside like that. I'm not getting labeled any kind of predator. Not me, missing you with that shit. You're saying that FaZe Temper is a pedophile, which that is who he's talking about in the clip. I'm like, whoa, that's Tommy. That's our brother. This is who we started this FaZe shit with. I'm calling him. That was the first thing I said. I'm calling him and I'm calling Apex. But Tommy and FaZe Rain had a conversation between themselves years ago. I might be misremembering it, but I think it was 3-4 years ago they talked about this. And that's how long these guys have been sitting on that for. So
now this caught everyone off guard as this whole thing continued going more and more viral, because for those of you that don't know, I'm pretty sure Temper is the one who literally started FaZe Clan as like a whole. Like, I think he's literally the founder. And not to mention at this day and age, he's really the only one who isn't online as much anymore. Like, he doesn't really create content, he doesn't stream much. He literally just entered the whole next chapter of his life. He even has a wife and a kid now. But regardless, Rain would still end up going live later on today to confirm that Banks was correct and he was in fact talking about FaZe Temper. And with this, he will also give the exact detail of why he was accusing Temper of these things, even acknowledging the fact that Banks was also a witness in the call with them as well.
This dude looks me in my eyes and says, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I had two 16-year-olds. I'm like, bro, what? Like, how could you tell me that? On my mother's heartbeat, that's what he said. He looked me in the eyes and he said that. I told Banks and I told Apex immediately. I even told Lee Trink. I have texts with Lee Trink from then. It was right before everything fucking blew up with the SPAC and FaZe went public and whatnot. I didn't even want to bring this up, Banks. I did it. I didn't even want to bring your name up in this, bro, but you made that video. I don't know if we're about to watch it in a little bit, but it's just, you lied in that video. You're making shit up. Like you said, call concluded and Tommy didn't admit to it. Yes, he did. And you called me and you said, bro, this is so fucking bad. Okay, again, brother, he told me 2 16-year-olds, then on the call, he said, if I said it to sound cool. Do you remember him saying that? There's no way. There's no way. That's such a crazy thing to say.
Brain, I'm fried, brother. I honestly, like,
Okay. So then he goes in the call that we had after with me, you, Apex, Tommy, and he said it was a 17-year-old. He admitted it, bro.
Now, all of this has started looking very bad online for Temper because these allegations started spreading like wildfire. Like, I see it all over my Twitter feed. I see it all over TikTok, and it has hundreds of thousands, if not millions of impressions. So obviously, a lot of people are coming across these claims, which of course meant Temper had to return to social media to hopefully clear his name very quickly.
The fact that I'm even having to respond to this and to that my name is in the same breath as the word pal is so sick, twisted, and insane. This is disgusting. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not that type of person. I am the furthest thing from what you called me. And I will never be that person. When you first brought this up a year ago, and I believe that you brought it up just for money purposes, that you wanted money out of FaZe. Like you stated that a year ago in the conversation with me, Banks and Apex. You stated if you don't get paid that, you're gonna air this out. That is blackmail. All I care about is my family, bro. Like my biggest concern is my family, my wife, and my kid. Now my kid has to grow up and see this, then see that his father is in the same, that my name is in the same light as what you just called me. You don't even understand the levels of damage that you just inflicted into my life, into my family's life. I'm disgusted by your actions, by the person you've become. You haven't always been this way. You're a really nice kid. I don't know what happened, what got into you.
Now, while I don't agree with the approach that Temper chose to take, like throwing Rain all under the bus, saying this and that about him,
he has to
counter the allegations that were made, in my opinion, is really the only thing he could do. I mean, unless he just decides to take legal action. I mean, what else could he really possibly do to make the internet say, oh, maybe he has a point? It's literally nothing. And apparently Rain didn't really agree with this approach too much neither.
Zero accountability. I hate the person you've become. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my life. I'm mentally clearer than I've ever been in my life. I'm the most compassionate, most empathetic, most giving, most caring I've ever been in my life. You say, I can't believe you're the person that you've become. Yeah, suck my the fuck are you talking about, buddy? You want to do this bullshit? You want to lie? Okay, I'm gonna show you that, bro. I didn't want to do this at all, but now you're actually making me see red. I was sad and I was hurt for you in the beginning, and now I'm not.
Now, obviously, Temper is getting the most hate online right now out of everyone involved, but there's been people giving Banks and even Rain some hate as well, because the internet feels like if all of this is true, why did they wait so long to say anything instead of just exposing him right then and there?
But how long is that ago? Like, why these guys know about this shit and they like it's just coming out now somehow? Like it's just like not like. And why do that on stream anyway?
Which is honestly a pretty valid question that Rain did end up responding to via Twitter, saying that he feels horrible and that he wish he spoke out sooner.
I feel horrible, man. I wish it never happened. I'm sorry I didn't speak out sooner, but I hope you can understand that it's hard. I loved this guy. I was a huge fan of him growing up. I didn't know what to do. Part of the reason I left FaZe was because of it. I couldn't be side by side I'm assuming he meant with somebody who did something like that. I wanted to speak, but it just felt so bad, and eventually I couldn't take it anymore. Love you whether you understand me or not. Okay. I don't understand how the conversation came up where people were asking him why he left FaZe, and he said, "Yep, yeah, time to pull the cat out of the bag now." I don't get that part. I understand if you felt bad about it, and there was some confusion in the details or whatever, and you said, rather than outing you right here for something that I can't completely wrap my head around, I'm just gonna remove myself from the situation entirely, bro. Yeah, if you did do that, you're wrong, but I don't plan on getting into the weeds with you about the topic. You got it, bro. I'm out. It troll, joke, whatever the case, but true, false, I'm good, bro. This is me showing my last bit of love for you as one of my boys, one of my OGs, one of the people that knows me the best. I don't want no parts of this, bro. I could see that. at the same time, if you're gonna come out of nowhere and hard accuse, right? This isn't a suggestion. He came out right, and there's a toucher involved. That's serious. That's a 12 gauge shotgun to the chest. Bow. And then of course Banks compounded it instead of just going on Twitter and be like, I'm not who he's referring to. And instead of just saying that, he had to make his little video, touch a little bit of bread for the road, and stuff like that. So I understand that side of things as well. I can't act like I don't, but it's just kind of heinous.
But it was just hard to air everything out because of how much love he had for Temper. Now, I was planning to end the video there, but it seems like we have a new update in this entire thing. And this is not only Temper responding to everything that's going on yet again, but this time he kinda admitted to the things that Rain accused him of, but according to Temper, he didn't know the girl's actual age.
Being a fool. And then one day I go to New York and I go to this club that's 21 plus. And I link up with a buddy there, and he invites a couple girls, and I end up going back with these girls. We're all shit-faced, and I end up going back with these girls to my hotel room. I slept with one of them, and I found out after that this girl was 17. And that's the age of consent in New York. But regardless, I was sick to my stomach. It was just extremely uncomfortable knowing that and thinking about the situation. And that was it. And this allegation of me being called a pedophile is fucking insane. Anybody that knows me knows I am not a pedophile or even anything close to that, including Norden himself.
And of course, with Temper making this video and admitting to certain things, Rain also had to respond as well. And according to Rain, Temper never disclosed the fact that he was unaware of the girl's age at the time.
He had 2 different times to say he didn't know. He didn't tell us. He didn't say it on the call. He didn't say it in the original part. We talked twice. He told it to me. He would have said it. I didn't know. I didn't know. He would have said that shit, but he never said that. He would have said it. He would have said it again and be like, bro, but I didn't know. If he kept pushing that point, I didn't know, But
as of right now, this whole thing is still ongoing and unresolved. So I'm sure this is going to continue to drag out over the course of the next few days with no real resolution. If anything, the internet's probably just going to choose to side with whoever they believe. And after a while, probably within the next few weeks, this whole thing is just going to blow over. We all know the internet moves extremely fast. And by next month, there's going to be something new to talk about. But that's just my personal opinion. And as you guys know, the only opinion that I really care about is y'all's opinion. Be sure to comment.
Shout out that boy Bando. Yeah, it's a very riveting tale. Not that we really care too much about them as individuals. How old is he? FaZe, what's his name? Ooh. How old is Tommy from FaZe? So this was allegedly like a few years ago, right? Let's say it happened 4 years ago. 3-4 years ago, because that's when they see him. That's kind of nasty work right there. 32 years old. Wow. That's tough. So Romeo and Juliet would not apply here, but as he did say, the age of consent in New York is 17. So technically it was legal, even though it was weird, right? Weird things can still be legal. We can still not condone them, even though they were legal, because the law is not always fair. The law is not always just. The law is quite simply the law, right? There's some things that are legal that should not be legal. And there's some things that aren't legal that make us scratch our heads and say, okay, why can't we do this? Who are we harming, if not ourselves, if we're the only ones that do this? Neither here nor there, but I just think it's rather interesting, right, that it was drawn out this much, out this far. bad case either way. But you know, since he's not super prominent online anymore, and previous to this, very few people of today's gen, unless you were like a phase like die hard over the past like probably 10 years, you probably didn't know who FaZe Temper was. I didn't know who FaZe Temper was before the situation because I wasn't a FaZe guy. So I mean, yeah, I don't worry too much about it. I think it's gonna blow over, and after about a week and a half, we won't be hearing anything about it anymore.